Hey guys, we have some new data and some late breaking news. We are currently in a very steep short-term dimming event that is ongoing with KIC 846-2852, and we will show you this with Bruce Scarry's latest G-band normalized light curve. And we will provide an update on the long-term dimming of Tabby star using David Lane's latest V-band measurements that confirms this steep dip in the flux of this strange star. So this is Bruce Scarry's G-band normalized light curve of Tabby star, and it shows that we have just begun a steep short-term dimming event that is now ongoing, which is shown here in this latest data point. And in the past day, the flux has dropped approximately 1.1% and seems to be in a very steep downward trend. So from our last update, this was the 25-day centered simple moving average of the V-band measurements taken of KIC 846-2852. And this simple moving average curve represents the long-term light curve of this strange star that was updated approximately 3 weeks ago on February 24th. All the data measurements that constitute this light curve, which are indicated by the light blue detached circles, were taken over the course of 2¼ years by David Lane using the Burt Gaffney Observatory in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. And as of our last update, we showed that the total flux of the star had dropped a total of 3.80% in this time frame, which equates to roughly 27 months. At first, the long-term flux of this star drops approximately 3.63% in the first 20 months in this best fit arching accelerating dimming light curve, which was abruptly halted by a temporary brightening event where the flux increased by approximately 1% from its lowest point and did so in a very linear progression in 71 days. And then, as if a dimmer switch was flipped, the flux levels immediately shifted and reversed downwards again in a nearly perfect linear trend where it dropped 1.17% from the highest flux level achieved during the temporary brightening event in the last 5 months. And what makes this extremely peculiar is that the slope of the renewed dimming trend has the exact same slope as does the instantaneous slope of the accelerating long-term dimming just before the temporary brightening event began. And this equates to an average slope of approximately 0.25% per month that Tabby star is fading. So let's go ahead now and catch up on what is currently going on with the flux level of Tabby star. So let's zoom in on that portion of the 25-day centered simple moving average curve, which is highlighted by the red box, and add a couple more data points to take us up to the present time so that we can see what is happening to the long-term flux curve of Tabby star. So this is the shape of the long-term light curve that we showed in our last update, and now we will add the latest V-band measurements taken by David Lane. So this is the first data point, and it's shown here, which was taken on January 27th. And this is the measurement he took on March 18th. And this is the best fit curve for the 25-day centered simple moving average over this portion of the long-term light curve. Notice that the shape of the parallelogram we have discussed in our last few videos retains its symmetrical shape and identical slopes, as well as its congruent angles and sides. So guys, the centered 25-day simple moving average of the star keeps falling and getting dimmer and weaker. We have another 0.25% that the centered simple moving average has fallen over 3 weeks. And this is the lowest level ever attained of the centered simple moving average of the flux measurements. In other words, this is the lowest level that the long-term light curve has been at since David Lane has been taking and recording his flux measurements of KIC 846-2852 a little more than 27 months ago. And as things keep falling apart, nobody is paying much attention. They don't realize that this phenomenon is probably one of the best current candidates for eventually detecting extraterrestrial life. So guys, we will keep you up to date on the latest abrupt fall in the flux of Tabby Star. So take care of yourselves, and we will see you in our next video.